Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kathy at Attic Treasures, etc. And I have a startling admission to make. In fact, it's a serious problem that I have, and I think a lot of us have this problem. And if you don't already have this problem, you will. So I'm just going to get right to it and make my admission right off the bat. I have ugly scrapbook paper. Yep, this is left over from my scrapbooking days, and it was great for scrapbooking, especially because I have grandkids. But come on, am I really going to use this in a junk journal? And look how much of it there is. There's a ton of this stuff. What in the world? I mean, maybe it's not all bad, but anyway, I have ugly scrapbook paper, and I have lots of scraps. This is just a minuscule sample of the amount of scraps I have. I have drawers of scraps. So there's that. And I have a lot of books. I have a ton of book pages. So what am I going to do about this? I think it's time for an intervention. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take these ugly scrapbook papers and all these scraps and some book pages, and they are going to stop being slackers in my craft room, and I'm going to put them to work. So let's find out how. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, and I've already done this, I'm going to pick one 12 by 12 sheet. This is hideous. Now I know that a lot of people say, well, just coffee dye it and stamp it. You know what? No amount of coffee is going to fix this paper. So I have another plan. I'm going to set this down. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down. And I'm going to start with 8.5 inches because that is how tall my journal pages typically are. So we're just going to start with cutting this at 8.5 inches. Now, then I'm going to cut it in 1.5 to 2 inches, or, you know, just some random, I don't need it like that, random sizes, but I'm going to start with 1.5 inches. And let's try another one at 1.5. Let's try a 2-inch one. What I'm doing is I'm putting this to work. I'm going to not let it take up slacker space in my craft room anymore. Let's do another 2-inch one. And let's see, another 1.5. And then I think that's another 2-inch. Okay. So there are those. Now this one is 3.5 by 12, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one into usable sizes as well. I'm going to start with 3 inches. Yeah, we'll just cut them into 3-inch squares. Actually, let's make this one 4 inches because I have another plan for that one. And then we'll just leave this one at 2 inches. Okay, set that aside. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut it from corner to corner. And I'm going to use my craft knife for this. Let's line it up. All right, so what I've got here, I have a couple of triangles. I have a rectangle, a couple of, well, they're all rectangles, but of differing sizes and widths. Okay, now, the next thing I'm going to do is take some of this book page. Oh, look at that. So this is a book that I got at a thrift store. It is not in English, it's from Oslo, so it must be Norwegian. But inside is this Volvo, this 1966 Volvo picture. It has a P1800, which is one of my favorite models. But I have had just about every model of this Volvo over the years. It's so funny. I was just thinking about it and then it just pops up. So anyway, we'll set that aside for nostalgic purposes. Okay, back to the task at hand. I'm not really sure what this book is all about, but I kind of like it because it's got some cool drawings and illustrations in it, and I think that's what it's about, is drawing, but I don't know for sure. So I'm just going to tear this page out. I'm just going to start with one for now and tear off the margins. Saving the margins because everybody knows you need more scraps. That's part of my problem. I'm a scrapaholic. So if you have ugly book page or ugly scrapbook paper, lots of book pages and lots of scraps, then this project is for you. And what we're going to do is we're going to create some stash. So what I want to do first is tear this book page to the same width as my scrapbook paper. So I'm just going to line it up. We're just going to start with one. This is just to kind of get you started thinking about what you can do with it. And this scrapbook paper, by the way, is cardstock. And there's a reason I chose cardstock instead of just regular thin paper for this project. But we'll have to get into that reason in another video. So for right now, what I'm going to do is glue the book page on it. And I'm going to put this on the bottom and just glue it onto this, because then I don't really have to think about it very much, you know, in case of it not being totally covered, even though I know it will. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and cover this. Trim off the excess. I'm going to set this aside. That one's done for now. Now, since I still have some more of the book page of that width, I'm going to do it on another one. Do this on, might as well do it on most of them. Since heaven knows I have plenty of book page. And it doesn't cover the entire width of the paper on this one. There's a tiny little bit of a margin on the edge, but that's all right. That one is set aside. See, already these are starting to earn their keep. Let's grab another page. See, aren't these cool? Let's try this one. Might as well get a few pages. This is a neat old book, and so once I have all of the, you know, pages gutted out of it, whoops, oh, that's okay, and put to good use, then I can use it for kind of a cool journal cover. I really like that. Okay, now I'm thinking we can probably put these together and get rid of the margins at the same time. We shall see. Okay, go this way. And then I'm just going to cut this off here. Okay, let's pull out the glue stick. Get this one glued up. I'm using Scotch Create glue stick because the paper, well, it's easy to, it covers really fast and you don't have to worry about that too much, but it doesn't warp the thin paper, and this paper is pretty old, this book page, and I don't want it warped. So again, we're not going to have a finished project today, but we are going to have a stash. And on Monday, this is Scrap Saturday, so on Monday we will use these to create further with them for Make Ahead Monday. And I think you'll find that the project ends up being really fun. So this is just phase 1 of this project. Okay, so I'll do the rest of these a little bit later because I want to get on to the next phase of this project. Now I have all of these scraps, and what I want to do with them is make some shapes with them that I can use in future projects. Sort of, like I said, start to develop a stash. And what I have to do that with, I have some punches. So, and I don't use my punches very often, but I'm going to bring them into this project just for fun. So I have these punches here plus a couple of smaller circle punches. So I'm just going to start punching away, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pieces, the smaller pieces that I make, into this little stash box that I got from the Dollar Tree. So I actually just stole that one from my husband. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to cut some flowers, and these won't fit in that box, but that's okay. Oh look, a takeout tray. How many of you have been doing a lot of takeout during the pandemic? Okay, so that's, I'm going to put the bigger pieces in here. Some circles, and because there's quite a bit left, I have this little butterfly stamp. So, I mean, punch. So I'm going to punch out a bunch of butterflies, and they fly right out. Can you see that? That's kind of fun. I have some bigger circles. So basically what I'm doing here is just creating a bunch of shapes out of this scrap that I can use for other projects. This looks like it's a good subject for circles since it's already a circle, or it's got circle patterns on it. And maybe some more flowers. Now, I got all of these stamps secondhand except for the small circle ones. Those maybe the butterfly one too, I can't remember. But they all came from the thrift store, and I have to tell you, that's really hit or miss. These happen to work. If you run across punches like this at a thrift store or a garage sale, be sure to ask them if you can test it out first on a piece of scrap paper. Now this is a kind of a leaf. Here's another leaf punch. I also have, in addition to the punches, which are really handy, I also have some dies and a little die cutter. This is my old Cuttlebug that I've had forever. I have some of these dies that I got at the dollar store in the Crafter Square. So I want to try those out. And then these are some edge punches or dies. It looks like a corner one. So let's give those a shot. Let's find some pretty paper. So maybe I'll try this one on here. See what happens. If you have one of these, I really like it. They're really cool. And you make a sandwich out of it. So this is the bottom piece. And this is a thin die, I think. Yeah, it's a lot thinner than this one. So I need my thin die adapter, which is this one. And I'll put my paper on there with the die on top and then the other piece on top. And then just roll it through. I like to go back and forth a couple of times. And with some dies, you can double up on the paper. Wow, that's pretty. Okay, so I'll set that aside. I also have some of this paper that I used when I was doing the ink video. This is just kind of a catch piece. So I thought I would put this on here. Some of these Tim Holtz dies, the flowers. Okay, so I have these two pieces of paper. This one is really pretty and I have more of it, so I'm not going to cut it all up for this project, but I'm going to put these on top of each other and then put some of these flowers on here. You put the cutting side down so it'll cut through the flowers. Maybe just lift this up, kind of poke them out, and then we have these pretty flowers, and they're really nice when they're layered. So this is just, one idea of things that you can do with your scraps, to make a stash for you to use for future embellishments. And I think that this is a really good use of random scraps. And on Monday, we'll start putting these together to make finished embellishments for your junk journals. So I'm hoping that you'll come back and join me for Make Ahead Monday, and we can take what we've made here together and make some finished embellishments. My goal is to get enough different kinds of things cut and put in here. I mean, it's like beads, right? We probably all have a lot of beads that are nicely sorted and in different colors, different sizes and shapes. So that's what I'm doing here, is I'm just creating a nice little stash that I can use for when I'm putting my junk journals and my embellishments together. But what I want to do is just sort of take some of this excess book page, and what will happen if I decide to ink in here. So let's get a bright color that I know will stand out. My favorite, peacock feathers. Oh, look, that's cute. Okay. Then we can maybe do some over here. And of course you can do the same thing with, you know, the butterflies or whatever. You can do them in different colors. So this is just a demonstration of maybe how you can use the negatives. So come back on Monday and we can finish putting these to work and make actual embellishments out of them. So I hope you had fun. I hope you have some new ideas for how to use up your book pages and your ugly scrapbook paper. You'll get even more on Monday. And if you found this informative, or if you think you're gonna try it, let me know. Leave me a note in the comments. I answer every comment that I get, so I really appreciate that. Also, giving me a thumbs up helps YouTube know that that they can go ahead and keep recommending my channel. So I appreciate all of that. For those of you who have subscribed already, thank you so much. Your support means a lot to me. And if you're watching for the first time, I hope you'll consider subscribing too. So thank you so much. We'll catch you on Monday, and have a great day, everybody. Let the serendipity find you, and we'll see you soon. This is Kathy at Attic Treasures, and I'll see you later. Bye.